Hey everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here, and today we're going to do a little Total War Warhammer 2 battle analysis, battle matchup. Somebody posted a save game on the Total War subreddit of a battle that they thought was very difficult. It took them many tries to get through it, and a few other players, myself included, took a stab at it, and I think I did fairly well. So we're going to put this together, show you the strategy and how we did it, and hopefully help some people learn how to fight their battles better. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so looking at the pre-battle screen here, we can see that both lords are fairly low level, and we should not expect extreme performance out of either one of them. Throgg is going to have a slight advantage because of the regeneration. That means that if we can use Throgg to lure some of their missile ammunition and then regenerate any damage that he suffers. They do have 3 units of spears. Those are anti-large, so we do not want to charge Throgg, our trolls, or our frost dragon, frostworm, into those spears unless it is a side or rear charge. They do have a single unit of great weapons, and we also have the same. There are not a lot of armored units on the Norscan roster, so those great weapons are not going to be a great advantage, although we do want to keep their great weapons away from our trolls and our dragon and Throgg. We have a little bit more mobility with our 2 units of dogs. One of our units of dogs is a little bit slower with a frost aura. If we can isolate any of the AI units and break them and then get the dogs to chase until they're shattered or destroyed, that is one way we could pick off AI units. We do also have a little bit of mobility with the trolls. Trolls have low leadership, but they are kind of fast, so they are good for flanking and leading enemy troops away from your army. The dragon that we have, we can use that to fire its breath attack into clumps if we can find any. And the real big danger that they have is the skin wolves. The skin wolves have high mobility and they are anti-large. So we want to keep their skin wolves ideally away from Throgg, our trolls, and our dragon. And I'm pretty sure that the skin wolves would tear apart both units of dogs if the 3 of them found themselves in an engagement together. The first thing I do in my deployment phase is I scout out the battlefield and then start organizing my hotbar. And I don't use control groups, so what I'm doing now is I'm just moving the troops that I think I will use the most in this battle down towards the left side of the bar so that they're easier to find and click on. And then I generally put missile units and artillery down on the right, and then all my other infantry and stuff kind of occupies the middle of the bar. We're going to split our deployment into 2 halves here. Our trolls can't hide in the trees, so it doesn't really matter where we put them, but we do not want them near all of our other infantry because we don't want to give away their position. We're going to take our Marauder Berserkers and deploy them on the left, and then we are now placing our missile units along the right. They are all hidden in the trees, or they will be when we're done with deployment. I have 2 units of Marauders with shields, basic Marauders, so we're going to put 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and you'll notice that the unit in the hotbar that's on the left is the one that's in the battle on the left, and the one that is in the hotbar on the right, or the unit bar on the right, is the one that's in the battle on the right. That makes it easier to find them in the heat of battle. Then we're going to put our Marauder with great weapons down towards the Berserkers, along with our spears, and that's kind of a big battle group. We do a control drag to select a bunch of stuff, hold down Alt to move our troops, and if we need to give them a rotation, we can use control. And so what we're doing now is we're moving our entire force forward, and we're taking up position in the trees where the AI will be unable to see us, except for Throgg, the dragon, and our trolls. So what I've done is I've used the selection box and the left Alt button to move everything at once. But then now that they're moving, I'm giving all the units individual move orders and positioning them exactly how I want them. So the dogs and the dragon are going to take a position in the trees on the backside of this hill. And we're going to go ahead and turn off fire on our missile units just because we don't want them firing preemptively at any of the AI that may come towards that hill. We don't want them to fire unless they have to. We want to control when and where they fire. And we're going to bring our spears up, and the spears are going to take position in the back. Now with Throgg, what we're going to do is we're going to try to draw some of the AI missile fire. And the reason this is a good strategy right now is because we are in the trees, and so the trees are going to block a lot of the missiles, and Throgg, as we said at the pre-battle screen, has regeneration. So any damage that Throgg takes, he's going to be able to regenerate. We see that they put their skin wolves towards Throgg, and I thought I had an opportunity, so I was going to send the Berserkers forward and try to catch the skin wolves, but the AI has pulled the skin wolves back. We also see that the yellow circle that loves to eat mouse clicks made a brief appearance. CA, if we could turn that thing off, I would really give everybody in your office a big wet kiss. I hate that thing. So moving forward again with Throgg, we're going to see if we can draw out some more of their missile fire, and we're going to fast forward the battle during this because it's kind of a tedious process. If we play the battle at regular speed, we could be here for 30 minutes or more trying to get this to happen. Every time we move forward and the AI sees us, they do the AI shuffle because I guess it's reevaluating its positioning on the battlefield and whether or not it thinks it can win the current matchup. The skin wolves are leaving the trees and then turning back in. Really, our only goal right now is to try to get some of their javelins to throw their missiles at Throgg. Okay? And so what we want is we want the javelins to stop moving, and we want them to aim at Throgg. Now, yet you can't get too close to the AI when you're playing this little game because the AI keeps all of its missile units in skirmish mode, so if you get too close, they won't fire, they'll run away instead. Now, I'm anticipating here that the AI may come out of the trees down towards us, so we're going to move our missile units just a little bit closer.
Run, you dogs! Give me flesh!
And as the AI takes position at the top of this hill, we're going to move up with Throgg and try to attract those missiles. And we see now the skin wolves are finally committing to their attack, or so it would seem, but they turn around and they leave. But we are, or were, drawing a little bit of missile fire from this javelin unit to the right. Okay. Now the AI has positioned some of its troops down over here near our other smaller force on the left, which contains the bulk of our infantry. And now the AI has finally committed their skin wolves, and they have caught Throgg. And it would seem that Throgg is in trouble. So at this time, we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring up our trolls and our dogs and our frostworm. And we're going to see if we can get the skin wolves eliminated. Now, Throgg is sitting at about 40% health, but he could regenerate the full amount of his health yet. When he can't regenerate the full amount of his health, there will be a little bar that will appear on his health bar indicating that there's a cap to how much health he can regenerate. Now that the frostworm has landed, we can see that the skin wolves are down to about half health, and their morale is starting to break. The trolls are a little bit slow, but when they finally get here, combined with the dogs and the dragon and Throgg, we will break the skin wolves. And then once they are broken, we will keep attacking them with the dogs until they are completely shattered or destroyed. And in doing so, we've eliminated one of the AI's faster and more mobile units that can do damage to us. Okay, so we're going to take Throgg and the trolls and pull them back, and then put Throgg back in. And now the skin wolf unit is completely annihilated, so we pull back with our dogs.
Just a sec!
Okay, so we're going to resume our cat and mouse battle here with the AI and Throgg, and we can see now that we got a fair amount of missiles being thrown in Throgg's direction.
Quick!
And so we want to keep the AI doing that. So we're just going to kind of try to occupy this little hillside here and keep the AI enticed. Anytime they come towards us, we run away. And anytime they run away, we follow them closer to their missile units. And we just want to keep this battle, or this little dance, going. Right now, while the AI is just shuffling around, we're going to let Throgg regenerate some of that damage. You can see now his health is slowly climbing up. And then we'll go ahead and move him back in towards the fray. And that little line that would appear on Throgg's bar when he can no longer regenerate has not appeared yet. So if we were patient and we wanted to, we could just go park Throgg off in the bushes somewhere, and he would regenerate all of his health at this time. But we want to keep the battle going. Okay, now we've got 1, 2, 3 units of javelins, I think, in range, looking to throw their missiles at Throgg. And he's still in the middle of the trees, so if we can get them to waste all that ammunition, that will eliminate their effectiveness in battle, and the AI will only be able to use them as infantry. Okay, so there we go. Lots of missiles being thrown at Throgg. And you can see some of the missile unit ammunition bars are getting fairly depleted. Now, it would be smart, like I said, to keep Throgg moving, but at this point we have 4 units of missiles throwing all their ammunition at Throgg. So I felt it was better to just leave him in place, because every time we move him, the AI shuffles everything everywhere, and I just wanted to get them to throw their missiles. Okay, now you can see there is that little bar on Throgg's health bar, and what that's telling us is that even if we let Throgg regenerate all of his health, that's as high as it's going to go. It's not going to go higher than that little bar there. Okay, we've now positioned ourselves into another spot where we have some enemy javelins that are targeting Throgg, and so we're going to run back and forth with Throgg and draw that missile fire until hopefully they run out. So we can see now the AI is moving one of its missile units over towards the map edge, and we're going to see if we can capitalize on that with the dragon and Throgg. If we can charge into that unit and break its morale, they'll flee straight off the map edge, and then we won't have to eat any more missile fire from it. However, it's going to be tough to accomplish. We're going to give Throgg a charge order, and we see that they are outrunning Throgg. So it does not look like we're going to get there in time. And as our Frostworm catches up, we're going to maybe look for a potential target, high-value target that we can hit with its breath attack. Now we see there the Marauders with great weapons have their flank to us, and if we can hit them with a dragon breath attack, it should do optimal damage in there. And we also need to give Throgg a move order because their infantry are catching up. Unfortunately, the dragon breath attack missed for the most part, and now it's eating some missile fire along with Throgg from the javelins, so we pull both of them back to avoid that damage because we are not in the cover of the trees any longer. We're going to go ahead and give Throgg another attack order here into the javelins. And as soon as he crashes in, we're going to click and give him a move order and keep them chasing us. Now, our goal here, if we can do it, is to get them to chase us into our missile units with some of their own units a little bit isolated. So right now, I'm charging into them as they run away, getting a poke in them, and trying to lead them this way. We're going to bring our Marauders with shields up, along with our Javelins, and then our Marauder Hunters. Now, if we can get the AI to follow us down here, we have the missile advantage now, and as they chase us into it, if we can tie them up with Throgg and some of our other big units, we'll get lots of kills with our missile units if we can accomplish that. However, the AI does not want to follow us. So we're going to go ahead now and try to get the AI to chase us, again by charging in with Throgg. Then we turn around and run away. Here come the Marauders with great weapons. So we're trying to get them to follow us into our missile units. We're going to go ahead here and use Throgg's vomit attack on the Marauders with great weapons and see if we can do any damage to them. And we see that, again, it did not do a whole lot of damage. However, the AI has left its Marauder Javelin units. It's left them completely stranded. So now is a good time to go ahead and bring the dogs. Okay, here come their spears. Remember, spears are anti-large. They're chasing after Throgg. Throgg is low health. They pull the spears back, and we re-engage with Throgg, and we're just hoping that our dogs get here in time. Here they come. We have our dragon is in position to provide a breath attack to the flank if any of the AI clumps up on Throgg. Okay, we're going to charge in with the dragon and finish off their morale. And now that they're broken, we can keep pursuing them with the dogs. And we don't want our dogs running into the enemy units there, so now we're going to select them both and pull them back. So that one unit of the Javelins just went from pretty much full health, no missiles, to destroyed. We're going to use Throgg's breath attack. on those Marauders and see if we can get them to come forward. That one did a little bit more damage, did about 5% damage to them, but, you know, not very much overall. Now, if we can get them to chase us, they'll run straight into our missile units, okay? So now the AI is really committing their attack. It looks like the majority of their troops are coming towards all of our missile units, so we want to reposition our trolls, and we want to grab that other unit of Marauders and bring them over here also to reinforce. We're going to go ahead, we're going to charge into that unit of Marauders with our Berserkers, and then use our Spears to hold the line over there. Trying to get our dragon this way. We're positioning our dragon so that it has a breath attack down the AI's flank, and then we're going to come back with Throgg. Okay, we can see our spears are not getting there quite fast enough, and two of our Berserker units are going to get charged in the flank, so we're going to select those two, and we're going to pull them back, and then we're going to send our spears and our great weapons into that lead unit there of the enemy. We're going to get a breath attack into the flank here, along with a charge with Throgg. We can see that that one did a little bit more damage, and they're also running right into our missile units. Okay, so our two units of Berserkers have pulled back through our lines, and so our entire left flank is being held by the spears, the great weapons. Throgg has broken because his health is rather low, so he's going to retreat, but we charge in with our trolls. They're chasing after our dogs, so we're going to pull our dogs back, and we're going to send our Marauders with the great weapons off towards the spears.
Blood! Your will!
Okay, so we see our Berserkers are now starting to get that wraparound on the left flank. Throgg will return. We have the dragon here, and we're going to go ahead and charge into that unit of Marauders that has collapsing leadership. On the right side there, we are losing the combat with our missile units against all their Marauders. The great weapons have now tied up the spears, so we're going to use the dogs and get a rear charge. And then with the Berserkers on the left, we're going to wrap around here and get them in the flank. Now, units of ours that have taken the most damage so far this battle are mostly our Marauder Hunters and Throgg. The rest of our units are very strong, and you can see that most of the AI morale is shattering, or the AI units are slowly dying from the missile fire from our units up on the hill. We now have Throgg is back, and combined with our Frostworm and our Trolls, we can charge in and cause a mass drought on the right flank. We can see that one unit of Marauders has tied up two units of theirs in the center, and our dogs and great weapons have now broken that unit of spears, and then their left flank is also collapsing as well. It's worth noting that on the left flank, they didn't have any leadership bonus, and we outnumbered them or had the superior infantry. So that is why we won on that side. And then we used our monsters and Throgg and our trolls on the side where we had most of our missile units. Here we're just giving follow orders to clean up the battlefield, and we'll go look at the post-battle screen. Looking at the post-battle screen, we can see here that I lost 442 troops, so that's like maybe a third of our troops, give or take. That's pretty comparable to what I lost the first time I played this battle. The first time I lost 390-something, so these results are somewhat repeatable if you use a similar strategy. Looking at the AI, they have 500 troops remaining, and if we had to fight the battle a second time, most of our units are full health. We have most of our Berserkers, we have our units of Marauders, and then we have all the Javelins, and our Trolls and Dogs and Frostworm are still pretty strong. Throgg's a little bit weakened, but if we charge him in with the Berserkers, we'd win the follow-up battle easily. Given that this is a Norscan campaign, chances are you just force a confederation on the campaign map. And that's going to do it for this Total War Warhammer 2 battle analysis, battle summary video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You can let me know with any comments or thumbs up. Look forward to hear what any of you would have done differently as opposed to my strategy. And, you know, check out some of the other stuff on the channel. Subscribe. Maybe if you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. You have a good afternoon and take care.